All right. So Anthony Davis has been on an absolute tear the last 5 games, Tex. He's gone 37 and 18, 38 and 16, 30 and 18, and then against the Suns the other night, 37 and 21 boards. And that was alongside 5 blocks and 5 steals. It's been an incredible couple of games for Anthony Davis. On the Lakers as a whole, they have had a couple of easier matchups, winning 3 of their last 4 against San Antonio, Detroit, and Brooklyn, and then losing to the Suns the other night. What have you seen from the Lakers since that really awful start where there was issues in terms of Westbrook, his production, whether AD was healthy? We spoke about it a lot, whether or not there's going to be a change in the roster in terms of trying to put something together to assist LeBron in striving for that 5th title. And since we spoke, Westbrook's gone to the bench. And he's
Yeah,
playing a lot better. He's been extremely productive since then. But what are your overall thoughts on the Lakers and where they're at this season?
yeah. I think a lot of credit has to go to Russ for what he's done. A lot of people were probably saying, "Nah, there's no chance he'll sort of like his pride would be too big to accept that sort of bench role." But he's come in and he's really probably turned the course of his career around. Really, if he had kept going on how he's going, it's probably looking like he was chance to be out of the league sort of next year. But he's rejuvenated himself. The role allows him to play his game a bit more because he's not playing with, he's not trying to fit in with like pretty high usage guys with LeBron and Davis. He can sort of come in that second unit and just do whatever he wants, and that's when at his best. And Anthony Davis is playing like the player I think we all know he is, that he doesn't always bring. But we thought, especially we thought this year, we see this sort of Anthony Davis after a pretty subpar year last year with injury. He's been awesome. I think we can finally say that he is most valuable playing the center position. He's just been a defensive monster, cleaning up the boards, and he's just a real nightmare. He's starting to hit a few jumpers. So, yeah, I think he's been awesome. I think he deserves all the credit for getting his team back on track, and hopefully it keeps going when LeBron comes back.
Yeah, agreed. It's a different style of dominance, I'd say, in comparison, I mean, to the bubble Anthony Davis, where it was attacking mismatches, getting to the paint, using that quickness and elusiveness, getting to the rim. Now it's more of a slower style of play. Not saying that's a bad thing. It's less explosive. He takes his time to get to his spots, picks his opportunities, I guess, a little bit more wisely. He's not settling for as many jump shots as he was trying to do, which in my mind, that shows that he's getting more comfortable with his body and his health. And he trusts his body not to break down when he is taking it to the cup more. You know what I mean?
And he's been dominating on the glass too. I'm looking at his last 5 games in terms of rebounds. These are not points. This is rebounds. He's gone 21, 18, 16, 18, 14. And
It's
to
nuts.
me, that shows me that he's engaged and he's out there. He's active. He's making stuff happen. He's playing hard. I think that's the best indicator. And I mean, we all know what sort of level of defensive talent he is. And now that's really coming fruition. Like, he had 5 blocks against Phoenix. Just, he's so long. He's so long. Like, he's one of the longest guys in the league. He's a matchup nightmare, and yeah, I'm happy for him because I don't know. He always looks hurt, and everyone's like, "Oh, here we go again. Here we go again." If you haven't watched him play, you look like he's done a 6 to 8 week injury every 3 to 4 minutes. Like, you cringe every time that bloke hits the floor.
And he's on the floor all the time.
Yeah,
It's
all the
like
time, grabbing his back. I'm like, dude, just don't fall over, man. Like,
yeah, it's not once a game where you're like, oh God, he could be out for the season. It is every couple of possessions, as you say, he hits the deck and you're like, God, how long's he out for now? Most of the time he just gets back up, but it's the one where he is out, which is what they're really worried about. And look, this team is 5'11" now, and it's getting to the point where they're gonna have to make a decision whether they're gonna stay in mediocrity or they're gonna make a trade. And
yeah, what do you think the future of this team is? Because you can't trade those picks. You cannot.
I think you can't unless it's something that moves the needle. Right now, there's nothing that would move the needle for them in the
There's
market.
no one out there though who's gonna. I mean, this Beal chatter keeps happening, but
Yeah.
the Wizards are actually going all right, and
Yeah. I
they
don't know
sort of
if the
haven't had
Wizards would
any
want to make the
success for a
trade.
while. So what? Why would Washington want to do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they would.
I put
It,
like, yeah, I just think this team they just need to ride this year out. and evaluate sort of in the off season. And if they're good enough to sneak into a play-in, and look, I wouldn't want to play them in a play-in, that's for sure. But my opinion is I'd ride this season out and just wait and see.
They don't have enough time though, because LeBron's nearly done. Like, age
Yeah.
does catch up, and we've seen it this season. He hasn't looked like the same guy, and nor should he. With all those miles on his body, he shouldn't be the same player he was even a few seasons ago. But it is coming, and it's going to come quicker than you expect. And I
Who's
think
going to turn this roster into like I can't see who are you going to add to this? You're going to add Giannis to this roster to make it. Do you know what I mean? So like, what's the point? I think this is just how LeBron's career ends.
Do they that would suck for one. Do they look at the Western Conference and think about how open it is and how strange it is towards the top of the West and think to themselves, can you get into a business meeting and can you pitch to them, we could be a top 4 talent with one top 4 team in the West with one trade? Could you pitch it? I think you could. And that's the thing.
I think you could if the periphery assets were better.
Yeah, okay.
Like, obviously, if I want to get to that point, I'm not trading Davis. I'm not trading LeBron, and I'm probably actually not trading Westbrook because he's become a pretty good off the bench guy in terms of winning games this year. Even so, let's not even count Westbrook. Let's say he's in the pool of periphery players. I just don't know who is going to command any sort of value whatsoever that you can go out and get.
No one.
And then you're mortgaging your future with these picks.
Yeah, it's a massive risk. All I'm saying is they've got into this position. You cannot waste these last couple of years of LeBron. You just can't. And they've probably got some under the table agreement. I don't think they will make a trade.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But God, I'd be thinking about it and
for
the right person. It wouldn't be. We've spoken about this before, but I would not. I would never, ever, ever trade those 2 unprotected firsts for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. That would be, as I think I used the same word previously, but it would be a mismanagement of talent, and it would just be like unacceptable.
Yeah, like Brooklyn did, and Brooklyn should have had Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and now, like, you just can't, especially when you have aging superstars, you just cannot, because we've seen the cliff, and the cliff can come quickly.
Yeah,
you can't mortgage your future. Trade it. I know, like, a lot of Lakers fans are like, oh, the Miles Turner, Buddy Hield. Those two, they're good players. Like, I think Miles Turner would be awesome on a good team. And Buddy Hield's pretty, like, good shooter, pretty serviceable, but they're not going to take this. They're going to take this team from 5-11 to 11-11, 13-11. Like, they're going to be just over like 500 with those guys.
If that, it might not even move the needle that much, Tex. And Turner's been playing extremely well. Not really sure how he fits in the AD front court. I mean, we spoke about how we love AD at the 5, and
yeah, exactly.
That's where he plays his best ball. So it's a tough one. Hey, look, the other night it was funny. Let's talk about that Pat Beverly altercation there, Tex, for a second. So the other night, Austin Reeves drives down the paint. He got hacked on this play, by the way. Booker absolutely smacks him right in the face. No call. And Booker kind of looks at him a little bit like maybe talking some trash. And then Aiden comes over, grabs a rebound, and like stands over him. And Beverly just comes up and snipes him from the back. Bang! And Aiden's a huge dude. Like, it wouldn't have moved him over too much, but he tripped over the corpse of Austin Reeves on the floor, and the big fella goes flying. What were your thoughts on that altercation in the end?
I've got a few thoughts on this game, all right? On this incident, first of all. Number one, I think Devin Booker is within his right to do that because he blocked the crap out of him. Like, you've made the play. Like, you can talk like that. I think you made the play, fair enough. But then for DeAndre Ayton to come in, you have no involvement in that play. Unless Austin Reeves is a 6'4" white guy who looks like he works at your local cafe. Like, so that's my first point. Number two, DeAndre Ayton. So in this game, your direct matchup is Anthony Davis. That's who you're responsible for. Davis has gone for 37 and 21 with 5 blocks, 5 steals, and 2 assists. And you've had 14 and 15, which is not bad. But when your guy who you're guarding has 37, I think it is so wrong for you to go to stand over this bloke and start talking junk. Like, you had all game to fight. Charles Barkley said you had 48 minutes to fight, but you didn't, and you chose to pick on this little guy at the very end of the game. I think Pat Bev was there all in his rights to do that to me. He didn't even hit him that hard.
Yeah, well, as I say, he wouldn't have fallen over if it wasn't the Austin Reeves thing, and it's cost Beverly 3 games, so he'll have 3 games on the
The
sideline.
Suns are the most infuriating team because they haven't done anything, but they act like they're God's gift.
Yeah. Oh, there's some serious things going on there with the NBA brotherhood not liking the Suns. I reckon.
And another thing,
there's actually something there.
Bookers like Pat Bev, you got to start pushing people
from the front.
This is also like the market. Remember when Morris hit Jokic?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, you never turn a man, you never hit a man when he's facing the other way." I'm like, mate, you can't provoke someone and then it's not like then turn around. Like, it doesn't work like that. If you're going to provoke someone, you're going to be ready that they're going to be not happy about it. You can't just do this and then walk off and act like, oh, it doesn't play that way, in my opinion.
I think Beverly was well within his rights to do what he did. I
actually kind of loved it, to be honest.
Me too.
Yeah. I think that's good for the Lakers.
Beverly,
when they go back into that locker room, they'll be like, you know what?
Yeah.
We love that you did that.
Yep. Beverly to me is the most annoying player in the NBA. I don't like most of the things he does. I hated the way he went at CP3 a couple of years ago. I hated the play he made on Russ Westbrook. The
CP3 one was way different. Way different than this one.
Yeah, but I just hate that thing. And then this one, I'm on his side 100%. You can't do that to your teammate, to one of my teammates. No way. That's not how we do it here. And I liked it. Showed some fight. And you're right in saying that they did have the whole game to show it. And they didn't right till the end. But sometimes that's just the way it is.
Lakers Twitter was not. They were rinsing Ayton so bad. They were loving Pat Bev. It was funny to see.
Yeah, mate. It's one of those ones where the whole of the NBA pretty much doesn't like Pat Beverly. But on this time, I think that some of them have gone, hang on, this is a fair thing to do in that situation. Maybe I would have gone about it a different way, probably. But did you see my favorite thing was when Pat Bev's like, after he shoves him, and Pat Bev's right there getting like held back by like security. Mikal Bridges comes like storming across and just walks straight past him. And then he's holding back Aiden. He's like holding back Aiden, like trying to get in his face. And he's done absolutely nothing when he has the opportunity to get Pat Bev back. I thought that was a little funny thing.
NBA fights are the most fake thing ever because you get held back. So you can talk the most junk in the world.
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be any consequences because you have like 15 people between you and the guy you're actually beefing.
Oh, you can't do anything unless you're the one that does the initial like shot or initial hit or secondary hit. You can't do anything because, as you say, there's security galore. And it's funny. So the Lakers a bit to do until LeBron comes back. Really, if they can get that record up to if they can get up to 500 over the next couple of months, then that's when they start thinking about trading. I think it gets a little bit more enticing when you are on the bubble of the playoffs versus being one of the worst teams in the league. Hey, look, let's wrap it up there. Another good episode. So thank you for listening and check us out on YouTube and on Spotify. Bucket Getters Pod.